Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your Tuesday night show, bringing you the highlights of the last week of THL. I am Lotus Knight, one of your hosts for tonight, and I am joined by this amazing cast. First of all, to my left, the one and only Super Op Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here for this show. Let me make myself a little bigger on the screen. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Always great to have you. And not only you, but we also have to my right here, he was on break the last 2 weeks. We have Geranium Battle. Geranium, how are you?
Doing well. Yeah, back from the craziness that was my holiday season, and very glad to get back to the grind.
For sure. And below Geranium, we have the one and only Ron Mexico. Ron, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Little tired. I got done doing day one and two of a invitational tournament, hopping and casting, but still excited to talk more Hearthstone and talk about what's going on in THL.
For sure. And last but certainly not least, we have Neji Boss. And Neji, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great, Lotus. I'm excited to be here. Hearthcenter's getting going. THL is getting going. Yeah, just excited.
For sure. This has been an interesting season, and there's so much to cover. So I'm going to get us started fast here with Player of the Week, our first segment. And why don't we start by our hero player of the week? Neji, do you want to take this one?
Can do. All right. Our hero player of the week is MPV. Allo, MPV is finally getting recognition for his masterful play variations with this reverse sweep over last week's player of the week. Bone Masher started strong, blitzing through MPV's lineup, but Guff got buff and got ET Yashraj a 14-13 clincher over Mr. APM himself. When captains face captains, it's always a pleasant meeting.
Nice. Congratulations, MPV, on your hero player of the week. Azalea, do you want to tell us who is our legacy player of the week?
Oh, absolutely. So our legacy player of the week is Eternal. Needing a win to clinch the week for his team, Eternal went above and beyond with extravagant technique and a 3-0 sweep to give ET Cthulhu the win over Activision printing money. Congrats and keep up the work. I absolutely did not plan for Hero and Legacy to be going against Bone Masher for Player of the Week for the teams. Oh man. But yeah, congrats to Eternal.
This just shows how much of a merit it is to beat Bone Masher, though. You should take it
Mhm.
as a merit, and it's a positive thing. And typically, the position was for Neji. I don't even know how many times Neji had Player of the Week being the one who beat him. So it's just a
So true.
strong showing. With that in mind, Geranium, do you want to tell us our pro player of the week?
Ooh, I am honored to say our pro player of the week because it is Edelweiss's, I believe, first time getting player of the week. Sugoi needed every point they could get in week 2, narrowly edging out Big W Esports in a 14-13 contest. Team captain Edelweiss led the way with a 3-1 win, piloting wins with Quest DH, Spooky Mage, and Miracle Rogue, while holding her opponents just 1 point, helping give her team the victory. Well done.
Well done, Edelweiss, for your pro player of the week. Ron, do you want to tell us who is our European player of the week?
Absolutely. So for EU Pro, we have JT Brinkers. An important part of any team's success is how they bounce back from a loss. A Prince No Maw bounced back from a rough week 1 and got a win in week 2. At the center of that is JT Brinkers, who hasn't dropped a game yet this season. APM is no stranger to this league, and JT Brinkers is here to lead their EU team to success.
Nice. Congratulations, JT Brinkers, for your EU Player of the Week. And I'm going to ask our wild specialist here, Neji Boston. Neji, who is our wild player of the week?
Yes, as the wild specialist, we have Maxibon. After 2 weeks, there's only one player who hasn't dropped a single game, and this player is Maxibon. He managed to get 2 clean 3-0s against players who are usually in top legend ranks of the wild leaderboard. Not only that, but he got these very good results without playing Pillager Rogue. Last week, he also brought a Reno Rogue. Will his opponent this week manage to stop Maxibon's win streak? Doubt it.
Fun fact, the person who wrote this and the person who Maxibon is going to face this week are the same person. So,
Oh, I didn't know who it was, but I said doubt it.
It was Copa.
yeah.
Oh,
Thank you,
well,
Copa, for the write-up.
Nice.
you never know. Copa, you got this.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, shall we hop on to decks of the week, everyone?
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Uh-oh.
All right, so this week we have a Renathal special deck of the week, asking ourselves, was the card actually nerfed? And to talk about our first deck, we have Neji Boston talking about a class he knows a lot, Mage.
Yes. As a Renathal enthusiast, we have XL Ping Mage. And I got some notes from Danka's dad. While this deck can still burn you out with Frozen Touch, oh, by the way, this is Cookie Monster's deck. I forgot to mention that. Cookie Monster Renathal Mage is a lot more in store. Alongside the ping package, Grand Magister Ramath gives the deck another late game bomb that can devastate control matchups, making it partner well with the Phylactery Warlock, XL Thief Rogue, and XL Ramp Druid Cookie Monster brought alongside it. Energy Shaper is a bit of a spicy inclusion, and along with Sunwell, this deck will make people that actually play around cards really suffer. Yeah, so Ping Mage, we saw this at Worlds in a few lineups. It was doing pretty well. I believe it was in Bunny Hopper's winning lineup as well. And then it kind of just disappeared. Nobody kept playing it. But now Cookie Monst has brought it back with some spicy inclusions, like we discussed with Energy Shaper and Ramath for a bit of a casino style to the deck. So yeah, I think I don't really know how good the deck is, but yeah, looks pretty fun for sure. A lot of people like these types of decks. That's why people play Thief Rogue, steal cards, play other classes' cards, replay them. And we also have 2 Rune of the Archmages, so you can't go wrong with that if you like random.
For sure. I'll ask Azalea here. Do you have any comments on this Casino Mage?
Um, I appreciate this deck. I I I am not, obviously, like Neji said, this deck. I imagine this deck can get wins. It's just a matter of how does it do. I don't know how this does against like the top couple of classes that we have. Um,
Probably 80% win rate, something like that, I'm sure. I haven't checked the stats, but
maybe.
I bet it's insane.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it looks fun. Definitely. I'd be inclined to. I'm more inclined to play 30 card decks at this point. But hey, if you want to like, if it's doing well for you, then run with it.
Fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Any final comments anyone wants to share about Mage before we move on to our next deck of the week?
Nope, go next.
I feel that.
All right, Geranium, we have a deck you know a lot about. So why don't you tell us about this one?
Oh yeah, I know everything there is to know about another warrior deck. It's Blankia's extra large control warrior. this Control Warrior is sporting quite a few disruption tools. We've got Call to the Stand, we've got Disruptive Spellbreaker, of course we've got Theatar, but really what this is meant to do, it's meant to gain its armor. It's meant to hold out against these burn decks, especially against DH. And what do you know? Extra large Control Warrior in this match lost versus the Ramp Druid, expected. Lost versus the Phylactery Warlock, expected, and beat the spell DH, baby. So that's exactly what it was meant to do. To the Front is very interesting. To the Front is very good at for people who are uninitiated, doing Bran Astalor combos. You can do that entire combo. You can do school teacher shenanigans. You can do even just like Tidal Revenant with Bran is pretty freaking strong. So To the Front enables a lot of disgusting combos.
Nice. I'm going to ask Ron here, as a warrior enthusiast, what do you think about this deck, Ron?
This deck is legitimately an option in a meta like the one that we have right now. It can even grind out Rogue, assuming that they don't go Astalor step a bunch of times and get like 4 Astalors, which probably beats you. But this deck really just says no to Demon Hunter. Like, you are not allowed to win. And you have to be extremely careful if you're Demon Hunter to play around Call to the Stand, which is incredibly disruptive. Speaking of disruptive, there's a card with that word in its name, and it discards important Demon Hunter spells. This is like Demon Hunter hate incarnate in a deck. And Demon Hunter's everywhere, so this is a legitimate option to bring if you feel like you can design a lineup that can get through against DH. As far as Renathal decks go, I don't hate it, and that's saying something.
Yeah. Any final thoughts anyone wants to share on Control Warrior before we move on to our final deck of the week?
Yeah, quick aside, any knowers why Captain Galvangar is in this deck? Just a
No.
guy?
I'm
Pushes
I'm,
nine.
guess, I'm guessing
It's
he just
9.
helps finish, right?
It's 9 damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's something, all right?
Pee Wee was
Kill
playing
people with
against
that.
or playing this against me today, and he went to the front Galvangar like early, and then he had a 9/9 on board, and I couldn't kill it, and then I died.
Yeah.
So that's why. It's the nuts.
Sometimes Captain GVG just gets there.
Yup.
Yeah, it is a good card. 6 mana 9/9 is a pretty good stat line, especially if it has charge.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, a lot of times you legitimately use that card to trade, just to keep
Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
minion off your face too.
True.
Actually, that is an illegal play, and I will take it.
The card says charge. What are you doing? Go face.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at our final deck because we still have one more to go. And Neji is going to Ron is going to tell us about this final one. Ron, tell us about Shaman.
All right. So last up we have Pigeon's XL Control Shaman. With so much Renathal, you'd expect this segment to be even longer, but thankfully Pigeon brings us our final deck of the week. An old classic here with this XL Control Shaman. Wildpaw Cavern still does the thing against Demon Hunter. Freezing the enemy repeatedly alongside the extra health can be a significant asset. Astalor, Rotgill, and Lorthamar Theron are splashy new inclusions in the deck. And instead of freezing the board, this deck just overwhelms opponents with stats or pings the face again and again and again and again with that Mana Thirst 10 and again and again. And more with Bolner and Bran and Macaw. But yeah, this is a lot of things. As far as its level of competitiveness,
Oh.
maybe.
I mean, if the deck does the early stuff with Clownfish, it can definitely hold on and get to that late game. I feel like it holds. I feel like a lot of it just depends on getting the early cavern or getting an early clownfish, and if it gets there, maybe it can do. This deck could do work against like some things. I don't know how it does. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, you can freeze Demon Hunter's face, but the way Demon Hunter goes, they just play Warband, kill it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, now they can just keep me off board.
Really?
Lorthamar Theron looks so bad.
Oh man,
What are you talking about? He's the nuts.
I'm sorry if I messed up the.
Have you ever whiffed on Mutanus and you just get a 7 mana 4/4 and feel bad? With Lorthamar, it could be a 7 mana 8/8 whiff.
No. You're thinking too
Oh.
small. We bouldered it, we brand it, we macawed it. It's that Mutinous is base level 32.
Oh wait, now I understand why you're playing
Insane.
Galvangar.
Where's the Theron? Where's the Lorthamar in that deck? Where
Yeah.
for that
Yeah, why aren't
Galvangar?
we running Lorthamar in our Galvangar Control Warrior deck?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Actually, you can have a brand Lorthamar combo, right? For turn 10,
Oh
which you're
boy.
totally going to reach.
Oh
Yo.
man.
I mean, this deck is really good. You should play it.
Yeah. Neji, any final comments on Control Shaman?
I really enjoyed Control Shaman when Nathria came out, and then they nerfed Snowfall Guardian. I did not enjoy it so much. And yeah, I mean, this deck makes a bunch of stats. Doesn't have Denathrius anymore, but has Astalor for a win condition. I don't know. It looks semi-playable. Maybe try it out.
All right. And with that, I'm going to move us to our first match that happened last week. So we're going to start a recap with Hero Series. And our first match is APM facing F2O Black. So Geranium, tell us what happened.
Okay. In our first match here, abusing PR management took F2L Black to town here. Molestar, Wild9, Geranium Battle, and Laughing Frog picking up wins over Mr. Python, Rebobson, Dr. Bomdi, and Totino's Pizza, with Jim Flos getting the lone win from F2L Black over Canoe. This brought pretty much every single so many people here to 1-1. Yeah, I mean, it was some interesting prep. F2L Black brought a lot of DK and DH, and then the top three members of APM here brought Druid, which kind of stops one of those two in its tracks. So, interesting sort of counterpoint for me. This side, Rebob even banning Druid.
I mean, to be fair, Druid looks miserable into that lineup.
It looks miserable into the other things, but not DH.
Yeah, but then you just expect DH to get banned, right? And like you're just like, what do I do?
I mean, Molestar and Wildline both banned DH and brought Druid, which
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Well said.
Fair.
Well said.
Yeah. I want to ask here, Azalea, do you have any comments on this?
I mean, it's just so good. This is just a really good win for Dranium's team. It's uncommon to see F2L Black struggle this much in the beginning of the season. I'm sure this is a good team. They'll get things together. But Dranium's team truly is abusing PR management. So especially with Frog in that 4 seed, she's very good. And it got a good, and I mean, again, got a good win this week. So, yeah, congrats.
Yeah, congrats PR management for their win versus F2O Black. Any final thoughts on this match anyone wants to share before we move to our next match? Okay, so Ron, tell us about our second match of the night.
Absolutely. So this was Department of League Administration versus Dad Legend. Um, and we had I don't remember the order of the games that were played. I just remember Lotus was the
I was
last
last.
game. But it was already decided by that point. So just running through the seeds, I was able to get the sweep in the 1 seed over Mickey 66. Lotus Knight closed out the week with a 3-2 over Starlax, who was a last-minute sub for Desharmo. Donde took the 3-2 win over Pescatarian in the 3 seed. 2-star Mako got a 3-2 victory over Risen in the 4, and Saku lost a 2-3 to Yellow Dart in the 5. So outside of the 1 seed, this was just 4 games that went to a 5-game series. Despite an 18-10 win total, this was really hard fought and definitely could have gone the other way. So props to Dad Legend for making it a close contest, but Dola was able to get a big win and go up to second in the standings for Teal.
For sure. For sure.
Yep.
Strong win for Dolo over there. Neji, any thoughts here?
I'm interested that Mage was the most brought class. Very interesting. I guess maybe
Yeah.
Demon Hunter and Rogue weren't as popular last week. The team that brought a single Rogue did lose, which is not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ron covered it pretty well. Otherwise, just pretty interesting with the classes here. Only 6 Demon Hunters too. I feel like most people were just insta bringing it.
Not to knock you, Neji, but in the other match, Mage was also the most brought class.
That is, wait, was it?
By like what?
By
By
It
one.
was.
one over Demon
However, I
Hunter.
did not speak in the last one.
One
Mage
one
is
over
everywhere.
one bring over Demon Hunter, like 7 versus 8. Yeah, I don't know.
So what
DH
I've
good.
determined is all of Hero Series is trolling now. Mage is good.
True.
Yeah,
Mage is good.
Mage is
Rogue is
flexible.
better, but Mage is good.
Mage is definitely feels like more flexible, right? Even
I'll
though
have a
even though
prediction.
Rogue has 2 decks.
Yeah,
What?
I'll say
And
Rogue is probably going to be like 10 brought every match, pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
going forward, at least until a possible patch or mini set, if they rush one out early, Rogue probably should be brought by everyone in every series.
I mean, we're talking a lot about people's brings here. A lot of people chose what they were bringing like before the meta was totally figured out. So, we'll see a lot of variation, I think.
Yeah, there were at least some games. I don't know if it was Mako's or Saku's game that were played like really early on. Like,
Saku was played on Friday Night Fights
yeah,
last
but
week, so
I feel like one of them was played like right after the patch.
maybe it was
Maybe I'm wrong.
Mako's then. Yeah.
But yeah, an
Yeah.
interesting one.
For sure.
Mhm.
Um, so let's take a look at the standings here. Azalea, tell us, what do the standings for Hero look like after this week?
All right, so Hero Series standings. I will start on our left side of the column with Teal Conference. And starting off with F2L Obsidian. So feels like a little role reversal from last season where Obsidian was the struggling F2L team. They have 40 points, 20 points per week, because that's a lot of points. 2-0 record, followed by Department of League Administration. Sorry Lads acquires the title. So Department Dola and F2L, the 2 undefeated teams out of Teal. Sorry Lads, we got always Pack and Mana at 1-1. Then we got Dad Legend and the Cult at 0-2 at 19 and 18 points respectively. Over in Purple Conference, it starts at the top with with Ice Clown Citadel with 38 points. 2-0 with ET Yashiraj at them at 34 points with a 2-0 record. Another Pleasant Meeting at 1-1. Late Bloomers, who would have started the week I'm sorry. They would have started the week second to last, because of their by a couple of points over the other APM team, but they have a result this week. And then APM starts the week 27 points, 1-1, and then F12 Black at the bottom with 18.
Nice. So
Yeah,
this looks like, I mean, it's still too early to call what is going to happen, but it
the
does look like
conferences
we're
look the
starting to
same.
have that stair structure.
Yeah.
Never too early to overreact. Rebop washed.
Fair. Fair. Now, let's move on to Legacy, unless anyone has any final comments they want to make about Hero.
Let's do Legacy.
All right, so we're going to start by looking at Legacy Red this time. So to tell us about Legacy Red, Neji, take it away. We have Defias versus the Hot Zilfs.
Yes, we do. And Defias took it in a very close 13-12, with Wild 9 beating Coles 3-2, Classy Thug 3-0 over Astral Frog, Donde 3-0 over Nebkanuk, Chronic 3-1 over the Real Lure, and My Curse 3-2 over Gymphlos. Would it be interesting to know what the last match was, if anybody knows here? If anything was on stream, I'm not sure. Because it probably.
I don't know, sadly.
Okay, gotcha. Well, regardless, extremely close match. Good win from Defias. Once again, 3 rogues. Interesting. We do have a lot of demon hunters though. And we
Oh
also
yeah,
have 10
this one
mages.
has what? This is 90H.
We have 10 mages. Mage is the best deck.
So can I just know
Um,
one thing, Neji? Rogue
Yes.
lost every single one.
Rogue is bad.
True.
Mage
heard it here
also
first.
lost every single one.
That's a good point.
Oh my
God.
gosh. And DH lost what? DH lost in every. I think DH lost in every one as well, just
And
by
guess we're gonna
proxy.
stop
Hearing
bringing
here,
Mage.
No.
DH,
Players who
Rogue, and
ban
Mage
DH
are the
win.
worst 3 classes.
Can say that DK Death Knight won 2 out of 3. So Death Knight, good confirmed.
Yeah.
Or top class confirmed.
Yeah, good start from
Oh yeah.
Defias here. Also, good start from Chronic, the 1-2-0 player still in this match. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes from there.
I think Chronic versus Reeler was the last match.
Oh okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I unfortunately
Yeah,
don't
there.
know.
Needed the 3-0. Unlucky.
True. Did need a 3-0 to win.
So anyone wants to share any final thoughts on Defias versus Hot Zilfs before we talk about the standings here? All right, so Neji, what are the standings for Red Conference looking like? Do we still have a team that has yet to drop a point?
We do in fact have one of those teams. We have the Clownstoners at the top with 46 points. Every player has won every week, I believe, so not bad there. Copa Keepers have a lot of points too, 38 points in second place. Vanish Venters with 32, but it looks like they got an extra 4 this week already. F12 White, 26 points. Defias also 26 points. And here are Power Button Pressers with 15 points. Still early in the season. Anybody can climb back up.
For sure. For sure. But that is a very hot start for the Clownstoners. Don't you think, Geranium?
I do think being the captain of the Clown Center is that it is a hot start, and I wish we would stop talking about it to not imbue anything into this. I will say, by the way, that is a crazy high average opponent strength on Hero Power Button Pressers. Are we
Yeah.
reaching like record highs?
So who did they? I'm just gonna look and see who
We
they
have played
played.
them. The
They're-
Clownstoners
You played them.
them.
Cloudstoners played them. Yeah.
No. So they actually share the
They played
fate of another team that
Clownstones.
has a higher average opponent strength, is they
And then
play
they
Clown Centers and the top team of Silver, which is
Chicken's team.
Chicken Team. Yeah, the long
Season
Chicken
23
Team.
format, best of 5 with 1 banned competitors.
Exactly. And the Stubs also did the same thing, but they flipped order. So the Stubs faced the same 2 teams.
Yeah.
And we'll see that later.
Unlucky.
We'll also see
Unlucky.
some average opponent strength in silver that might be the lowest I've ever seen, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So, while we are looking at this, let's hop on to Gold Conference where Ron is going to tell us what is up.
All right. So for gold, I actually didn't even think about this until just now, but my team's played Dad Legend twice, I guess, this week. And we really put Yellow Dart in his place here, apparently. Wrecking Dad Legend again here. An Act of the Future taking it to Dad Legend 18-9. To run through the matches, again, I don't remember the order, but Lotus Knight in the 1 seed, who I believe was maybe the final match.
That was the final match.
Took down a 3-2 victory over Parawax in the 1. A big win over, I think Parawax was undefeated in Pro last season, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Myself getting a 3-1 victory in the 2 over King Viking 23. The road back to at least 500 PR. We're almost there. Skittles in the 3 seed. Got a close loss, a 5-game series to Pescatarian, who was still undefeated on the season for Dad Legend. Laughing Frog took down a reverse sweep victory over Yellow Dart in the 4 seed, winning that one 3-2, and Cherub taking a sweep victory over Haster in the 5. All added up to 18 points for an Act of the Future. Huge for the team with a loss in the first week. This one goes a long way.
For sure. For sure. This is quite the result versus Dead Legend, who hasn't been a slouch this season either. I want to ask for a comment here from Neji Boston. Neji, anything you want to say about this match?
Actually, Neji had to step away for a sec.
Oh, so I'm going to ask Azalea here. Anything you want to say about this match?
It's good to see. No, I mean, it's nice to see a lot of my friends doing well on this team with Cherub, and you and Ron, and Lotus and Ron, and Skittles as well. I've teamed with Skittles. This is like an Act of the Future is a team I really like just because I'm friends with pretty much everybody on the team. In some capacity, either having teamed with them or being on it or being in an org with them or whatever. But yeah, I mean, really good win for you guys. Dad Legend getting a win last week, but taking a step back here. I think this team will do pretty okay this season though. But it needs need to see some of these 0-2s get some wins.
Yeah, they did have a great start in week 1, so they're not
Yeah.
set back too much by this loss.
Definitely.
Also got to shout out the frog fight victory.
Yeah.
Way to go, Laughing Frog, winning the Battle of the Frogs against Yellow Dart.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that puts Laughing Frog 1-1 versus Yellow Dart. They faced last season in Hero.
Nice.
Nice.
The eternal battle of Frog v Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And now, after this match, how did the standings look like for Gold, Ron?
Yeah, so at the top, we've got E.T. Cthulhu, the only undefeated team currently in gold with 34 points. A Knack to the Future just behind with 31 and a 1-1 record. Shared with the rest of the teams until we get to the bottom, all 1-1. The Cooler at 1-1 with 28 points. Dad Legend at 1-1 with 28 points. Activision Printing Money, best name in all of THL at the moment. Nicely done, guys. 26 points and 1-1. And finally, W2LTS, who even though they're 0-2, that's 25 points. They're barely out of like second. They're 6 points off of second. So gold looks extremely competitive. The fact that a 2-0 and an 0-2 are even separated by 9 total points is pretty wild. So big points in their losses for W2 LTS. If they can get some wins, turn it around. This conference is anyone's guess.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now, let's move us to our final conference tonight. And to tell us about what happened there, we have Azalea Kari. So, what happened in Silver?
Yeah, so the silver match we are featuring is the season 23 format best of 5 with one ban competitors versus Hero Power Button Pressers. Man, those are I think they're the two longest team names in besides like they're the two longest names in the entire league. But yeah, we got a 16-9 win for Chicken's team, and I don't know the exact order. But Super Chicken got a 3-0 sweep over Mickey 66. Ariana 20 got a win for Hero Power Button Pressers, a 3-2 over Turtle. Gamer Dude with a 3-1 over Chewbacca. Hustle getting a very close 3-2 over Tab. And You Kitten Me with a sweep over Bassoon Buffoon. Yeah, really the only match I know much about was Tab because we played our hero match right after, and he gave me he was kind of like I threw my legacy match after we had finished our match, so very close one.
Nice. Yeah, this was closer than it seems, I think, because there were
Yeah.
actually 2-2-3s. And even though it seems like one side had a huge advantage, I would not say that was too far. What do you think about this? I assume Neji is back now.
I have returned. Yeah, I think uh, I'm just gonna say the chicken team. The chicken team is just continuing their success from last season. They were the runners up. Um, and yeah, I mean they're off to a really hot start, 2-0. Hero Power Button Pressers have had a bit of a rough go, as we talked about with the standings and facing two of the top teams so far. But it is early in the season, and they can definitely make their way back up. So nothing to be too worried about, but definitely got to start getting some wins under their belt.
Uh, we were speaking of team class brings. There's a lot of warlocks.
I did
Oh yeah,
notice
yeah.
that.
Well, got Warlock. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Mindlock enjoyers,
Yeah. I. Mhm.
and probably some imps.
I think there was at least probably a couple imps or curse imps.
I
uh,
notice a distinct lack of rogues on the side of the team that lost.
Oh yeah, and a lot of rogue from the team who won. Only person not bringing it was Tab.
Connected? Who knows?
Mhm.
I think
I
I think
think
based on
well,
how they acted in last finals, probably even like you Kitten Me and Tab were bringing Phylactery Warlock though. I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
maybe Hustle.
maybe. I mean, I have information. I don't want to give out any extra information because I have a feeling I know what was brought from one of the players. And I know that Tab and I played like right after the nerfs, so Miracle Rogue wasn't really kind of still like the deck wasn't made at that point. It was just kind of like, oh, it's kind of gone, and probably didn't want to bring Thief Rogue. So
Unlucky.
yeah,
But
Right.
yeah, chicken team wins.
yeah.
I'm in
Yes,
favor of that
strong
name.
showing. Very strong
Yes,
showing by
sir.
Chicken Team.
Mm-hmm.
But with this
Well,
in mind, what are the standings for Silver looking like, Azalea?
Yeah, so Silver Conference standings, we have Chicken's team up at the top with 37 points. That average opponent score is quite low. I can take a stab and say they probably played Justin's and
Oh,
they probably played Justin's and Hero Power Button Pressers
it was Hero Powered Button Pressers and the Stubs.
and the Stubs. Oh, okay, so their opponents just scored bad against them. Because the Stubbs is at 20 points, but we'll get there in a second. STD sitting in second place at 1-1, 31 points. We got Rats of average size, 29 points, tied with the Zilfs, both at 1-1, and the Stubbs sitting at 20 points at 0-2, and got Justin with 18 points at 0-2.
Yeah, that's an interesting series. You see a lot of players accumulating at one spot with a team in the front, but it is a team that technically had a much easier schedule than the others. Although this is still week 2, so as we like to say, anything can really happen.
Sure.
Yeah, to be fair, like we're kind of memeing on AOS at the moment because
Yeah.
it doesn't really get cemented as a like measurable statistic that you can rely on for at least another couple of weeks because
Yeah,
we
at
don't
least
have
halfway.
any true idea of the power level of these teams yet and who's going to be winning a lot to say that like, oh, this team was really easy, this team was really hard, and so on.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. The number really takes a while to accumulate, but it becomes a better indicator around the middle of the season or later.
Yeah.
And
6 is comical though.
Yeah. But meanwhile, 21 is also quite comical.
now
To go the other
let's
way.
move back to our main screen though, because we have a commercial break. And yes, our commercial is getting dirty again. So Geranium, go ahead, tell us what is our commercial for tonight.
Okay, I've deliberately not read it before.
Nice.
Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. The subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of cope it up or rating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have AP Amazon Prime / Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emote bong, as well as the THL chat badge. So hit that thumbs up button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Especially to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. The website is at teamhearthleague.com. Catch us on Twitter at THL_HS, and join us on Discord at Team Hearth League. The true Hearth legends himself, Sock Who? What? There's no damn list, Dad. Continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded. You are watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fans out there are sometimes THL shows every single, most days of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some Hearthstone-related content. Now back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Nice.
All right. Great read, Geranium. With this in mind, I will move us to Pro. So let's start talking about the Black Conference. And to tell us what happened in Big W Esports versus Sugoi, we have Geranium Battle. Geranium, go ahead.
Okay, we covered this a little bit in the Player of the Week here. Big W Esports losing to Sugoi 13-14, very close. In the first seed, Luke McMack got the 3-1 over Risen. Cookie Monst took a Game 5 win over Disagreement. Edelweiss, the captain here, got a Game 4 win over L-Bomb 25. And Leo Daric also got a Game 5 win over Ring 13. But then Nice King took the win over Doc McButt. Seeing really a lack of DH and Rogue here again. Seeing a lot of Mage, so probably played pretty early on.
Lotus, I think we got the wrong graphic on the screen for the match.
Oh, do we have the
Oh
wrong
yeah.
one? Did I put the wrong one? Oh, sorry. I did put the
Yeah.
wrong
That
one.
could be
Never mind.
that could be from last week.
Yeah, it was my bad. I clicked the wrong one. 1 second, let me fix it.
No worries.
Um,
We still got the rundown.
Yep. Yeah, here it is. Okay, now we have the right graphic. Sorry about that. I was wondering what was sounding weird, but okay. It is now fixed. So I want to ask Ron here. Do you have any comments on this match?
Yeah, absolutely. So big props to Swagoi for getting this victory. As I understand it, like we talked about in the Player of the Week, of course, and mentioned Edelweiss coming in with the mega clutch win, had to get exactly a sweep or a 3-1 in order to clinch a victory for her team, and did just that. Love to see the captain leading the way. Swagoi started out with a bit of a rough first week too, so this is huge to get that 17 pointer with the 14 plus the 3 for the victory. Big W Esports should be just fine as well. They had a very strong first week, so this just kind of balanced them out a little bit. But I think just a really close contest between two very competitive teams. Also noticing a distinct lack of rogue. I don't know what's happening here. Were we playing like really early, or what?
Yeah.
Is nobody believing in this? Well, I mean, okay, so we'll go ahead 4 rogues. Just 2 of them were normal. I don't know what big rogue is.
I don't know either.
Maybe it
Well,
would have
not
been
gonna bother
featured
looking it up.
if Doc
Thief
would
Rogue,
vote on it.
Miracle, and Miracle. So,
But I mean,
yeah.
basically, I'm kind of noticing a trend that the team that lost brought 1 rogue. Like we've seen that in like multiple highlighted
Yeah.
matches.
Yeah.
But that will
Oh,
probably change in the near future.
Mhm.
okay. Big Rogue was Death Rattle Rogue. It's named
Oh,
Big Rogue
okay.
because of Wild.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this
makes
is
sense.
probably what, like pre-patch or something. What did we even have a week pre-patch?
No.
I think
I think
no.
a lot of rogues post patch.
I think
Yeah.
that just happened like early because I played on patch.
Gotcha. Well, that was a 1-3 for the lineup that had nerfed Death Rattle Rogue.
Yeah.
Maybe won't be bringing it again.
Murloc Shaman banned.
It got kind of
Let's go.
murdered by the nerfs.
I will note if someone brings it and wins, it's probably a deck of the week.
True.
So let's move on to our final, or actually, let's talk about the conference settings.
Yeah.
Geranium, what is the conference looking like?
Okay, so the conference actually had a pretty big result last week because the top 2 teams, Punish Shed Ape and Brushy Tuna, both actually had 23-point weeks last week. So Punish Shed Ape now at 40 points, the only team that's undefeated here. Brushy Tuna at 34 points. Big W Esports just behind them at 33 points, tied with a perfect 10 Murloc, also at 33. Swagoi, not far behind at 26 points, then followed by Sushi Rats at 25 points. AT Yogg-Saron is at 23 points, and then the only team here that doesn't have a win yet, Frog Champs at 15. They got bullied by the 23 points curse here.
One point of interest I want to mention is that the top 2 teams played each other in week 1, with Punished Ape coming out on top.
And that was a very tight match. So, still a lot to say about Black Conference, but 2 teams are coming out ahead so far.
Yeah, only just. We got a very solid point lead though with the top 4 here in Black Conference. But there's a lot of weeks to be played, and 7 points can be made up pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, there's.
But there is the gap.
As we always say, it's still the beginning. Anything can happen. But let's take a look at Pink Conference. We'll talk about the free conference as it is known, with Neji Boston telling us what happened in Big DK Energy facing Zyrella's Disciples.
Well, we had Big DK Energy coming in, winning 17-7 over Zarella's Disciples. Both teams were 1-0 before the week, but Big DK took it to them. We had Rami 3-1 over Dazer, Racino 3-1 over Lasagna, Jammies 3-0 over Corbett, Seth for Christ 3-1 over Interval, and Donde 3-1 over Tom Carter. Yeah, I mean the matches I didn't see them, but I mean these are not very close matches. We had no 3-2s and not a lot of points for the losses for anybody. I will note we have a lot of spitter hunters, which you love to see. And once again, we have 0 miracle rogues. Interesting. But yeah, I'm sure that'll change next week, like we were discussing. But great win for Big DK Energy. This team has existed for a few seasons, or at least very close to this team, Donde captaining, and I feel like they just keep getting better and better. So we'll see how they do this season, but off to a great start.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I'm gonna ask Ish or Azalea Kari if they have any comments to share on this match. I assume Azalea isn't here.
Might be a
I'm muted.
no comment.
I'm muted. I'm muted. Sorry. No, no. Wanted to point out the fact that Big DK Energy brought a lot of Frost DK to their matches. Not as much Demon Hunter, and they still managed, or Miracle Road for that matter, and they did manage to get the win. We do see some phylacteries from both teams. So it's interesting. XD kind of struggling this season. They were the runner. They were in the top 4 last season, if not the runner-ups.
Top 4, yeah.
They were top 4, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's good to see. It's exciting to see Donde's team doing so well, especially believe adding Rami and Rosinho this season, like some big additions in the
Rami
squads.
was definitely there before.
Oh,
I
Rami
can't
was
remember
okay.
if Rosinho
Mhm.
was.
I don't know. I think
Donde Jammies Rami is a regular part
gotcha.
of this crew, though.
Um,
I do love seeing them stay on brand. Big DK Energy brings 4 DKs.
yeah, for
Good job,
sure.
guys.
And
That's
yeah,
that's some commitment right there, and winning with it too.
I mean, yeah,
Love to see it.
especially after the buffs, the deck just became quite good. And Donde's was even banned, so technically it got 3 quote unquote wins, and only Interval didn't win his match, but maybe one with Frosty K. I don't have his match in
Obviously,
front of
must have
me.
been the Frost DK that won.
Must have been the Frosty K. Never something like Spitter Hunter or or Thief Rogue Scavig.
Uh, it is nice to see Brushy Tuna Rejects doing well this season. But
Oh,
with
Oh my
that,
gosh.
just firing shots at
Damn.
Oh.
Pew pew.
with that in mind, I just want to take a look at the standings. Neji, what are the standings for Pink looking like?
All right, in the pink conference, we have F2L at the top with 45 points. Big DK Energy at 42 points. Those are our undefeated teams. Then we have Arthas Peter Menethil at 30 points. Chicken is down just in time to clown at 28 points. Cheesemongers United at 26. Zyrella's Disciples at 25. That rounds out our 1-1 teams. And then we have opportunistic pro players and Zymox and Chill at 19 and 12 points with 0-2 records currently.
Nice. So it's a widespread, I would say. Even though it is still early in the season, we have 33 points from first to last place. That is a lot. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Neji?
Yeah, I mean F2L has won nearly every single match, so I mean that's probably why they have so many points. I haven't seen Zymox and Chill's like the overall matches, but obviously from 12 points in 2 weeks, gonna need to pick up some more points to really get back up in the playoff race. I think it's
Mhm.
top 4 that makes it from each conference, if I'm not
I would
mistaken.
guess.
So yeah, not
Yeah.
super far away, but definitely looking like they're probably gonna
Mhm.
get a win this week to start moving back up.
For sure. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to bring everyone back for our checkout question. we have one final question to close the show, and it's something we've talked about tonight a lot. The current meta is, it seems to be a two-class fest. We have Demon Hunter and we have Rogue, just overwhelming ladder. According to Neji, just those two classes in his climb were about 70%. Is that correct, Neji?
Yeah, it was about 50% rogue and like 10 or 15% demon hunter.
Yeah, that is quite a lot for only two classes. So the question I want to ask is, how do you all feel about it? And I'm going to start by asking Azalea Kari.
Um, I think it's interesting because I'm not exactly of all the players here. I don't exactly see the most like Miracle Rogues and Spell DHs. But from what I'm hearing, there definitely needs to be something done to make it less DH and Rogue centric for the latter meta. In THL it's a little bit different, obviously, because you have the option to, if you bring both, one of them's probably getting banned, or you can, you can cook up a strategy that doesn't target one of those but goes after something else, and like Conquest. LHS can be a bit scary with this type of meta, but overall, I think Conquest meta is probably pretty good, but in general, yeah, it seems like a pretty two class centric ladder meta, which can be a bit unfortunate. But at least Renathal is gone.
There. Geranium, anything you want to say about the current meta? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, diversity is the name of the game here. I think that it is secretly more diverse
Yeah.
than people think. Um, at top 1K legend, Rogue and DH only make up 50% of the field. So there's a lot of room here. Uh, but actually, I do think that like there's a wide variety of DH counters specifically. Pretty much anything that gains health, so that's like blood DK, that's like warrior, that's ramp druid, that's like there's a lot of different options, or things that disrupt the DK sorry the DH combos, the possible things that you can do there. So I think DH is a little bit more counterable, which means that you can go and ban Rogue if you're a little bit more scared of facing like Thief Rogue, or in the closed decklist ones, and you can still face DH and maybe find a counter there.
Mhm.
And yeah, Miracle Rogue can miss, and so with your LHS format, um, you know, it you have a rogue mirror game one, or a rogue just misses on one of the games and then goes too slow. Rogue can sweep. It also can just peter out and lose. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting fact. I know that you all have. I know that top Legend top 1K, saying 50% is that. I I'm seeing a decent diversity. The classes I'm seeing the most are Death Knight and Druid. In like Diamond to Legend like
Yeah,
area, like
I
Death
mean,
Knight, Druid, and Paladin.
we had the two people who aren't in top 1K legend talk first. So
Yeah.
Well, I will move next to Ron Mexico. Ron, how do you feel about a two-class meta where Hunter isn't one of them?
Yeah, not great. Um, I mean, Hunter's pretty good against other classes, but Rogue and Demon Hunter are kind of crowding a lot of stuff out. I think I'm seeing about 60% either Demon Hunter or Rogue. And honestly, the majority of that is Rogue. Rogue's at some like 40, maybe even 40 plus, if I'm remembering correctly. So, like, we're clearly in need of some additional balancing. Rogue and Demon Hunter are a bit overtuned, but I do like this meta significantly more than the previous one prior to the balance patch. So I think the previous patch was a good one in a lot of ways. There's still some stuff that needs to be adjusted, and whether there's like a mini set that's coming really soon that could change things, or we can get a balance patch soon. I think it's probably necessary because there's just a little bit too much power in Rogue and Demon Hunter right now compared to what every other class can do.
And last but not least, in a similar vein, Neji, anything you want to share about the two class meta?
Yeah, I would agree. I think ladder itself is not great right now. There's at least at top legend there is at like 50% rogue right now, which is not what you want to be facing all the time. And then Demon Hunter is also really broken, but at least for the tournament meta, there are some things you can do. Um, just played a tournament myself, enjoyed myself. There's a lot of variety besides everyone having Rogue and Demon Hunter. And yeah, I definitely think we are in need of some changes, but I will say I'm enjoying it more, like a few people have already said, because I am a certified Renathal hater and I don't face Mensch Renathal anymore, so
Mhm.
I'm having a better time in the meta. But I agree that Rogan Demon Hunter needs some changes.
Great points. I want to thank everyone for their comments and for being here in the show. I want to give a special thank you to Azalea Kari, Geranium Battle, Neji Boston, and Ron Mexico. I hope you all had fun tonight. It is always great having you on the show. We are going to have stream matches this weekend. Fish, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Or Azalea? I always get confused.
Um, so far for Friday night fights, we have one match at 8. So we have a slot for 9 p.m. And then we also have slot for a 10 p.m. Although it would be nice to fill out the 9 p.m. the before the 10 p.m. match. So yeah, we have one match so far. If you'd like to play, you can tag me in the stream match request channel in the Discord.
And just a reminder, everyone is welcome, independent of skill level. We just want matches,
Yes.
and we
Mm-hmm.
promise a fun environment.
Yep.
And with that in mind, I want to wish all our viewers a great night. Hearthcenter will be back next week with another very special episode, and we will see you all later.
Have a good night, everyone.